From University High School in Waco, Texas, the 1A Boys North semifinal in the Texas Association of Private and Parochial Schools. Kingdom Collegiate Academies, the Cougars, 15-6 on the year, 6-0 out of District 4, and the Christ Academy Warriors, 20-7 on the year, 5-0 out of District 1. Mike Leslie and Earl Garland here with you once again for a weekend full of high school basketball. Earl, we had a blast last year. This year, I'm sure, will be more of the same, and two high-scoring basketball teams today that it's going to get pointsy in here real fast. In an early morning basketball game, these two teams can fill it up.
Yes, that's correct. Mike, it's great to be back with you, and this will be a blast because we're doing 3 times as many games as we got to do last year with the situation we were in. But, yes, it's going to be a high-scoring affair. Christ comes into this averaging 85 in their playoff games, and Collegiate 97. So we're going to be busy talking about lots of color and lots of basketball, I would think, unless the defense reigns supreme somehow.
I'm thinking probably not, at least in this first game of the day. Kingdom Collegiate, their head coach, Trey Givens, his first year as their head coach, came over from John Paul II in Plano, was the associate head coach under Dan Lee, helped them win a state championship there at JP2 in the not-too-distant past. Now taking over this Kingdom Collegiate Academies program and, again, leading a team that obviously, as we mentioned, scores in bunches, but they've got multiple players who can fill it up. 4 different guys that are averaging in double figures, 3 guys averaging better than 20 a game.
Yes. And then for Christ, we've got Coach Miller, whose son Dylan Miller is actually their leading scorer, but he also played in Europe, played in China and Mexico, and they moved here to Texas from North Carolina last year. So what a blessing to Christ Academy to be able to get those two into the school. So this is going to be exciting to watch how these two teams pair up.
Dylan Miller averaging 27 a game. Sam Luffman, their second leading scorer, at 14 a game. Dale Miller, their head coach, said he's kind of their Steve Nash type. He's running it up and down the floor, keeping the offense going, kind of their Energizer bunny.
Yeah, and I got tickled. He said Grayson Southland is affectionately called Grandpa because of his basketball IQ, so I thought that was good. By the way, Dylan Miller's the top scorer in T.A.P.S, of all of T.A.P.S, at 27 a game. So
Christ Academy had never been undefeated in district, had never been past the first round of the playoffs. Now they've won an area round game, a regional final game, and they've got a chance to go to the state title game in a matchup today against a very good Kingdom Collegiate Academies program with a bevy of scorers that are going to fill it up over the course of this morning. It's a 10 a.m. tip. Kingdom Collegiate and Christ Academy in the 1A Boys North semifinal. The prayer, the national anthem, and the opening tip when we return. The 1A Boys North semifinal. Christ Academy and Kingdom Collegiate Academies for a berth in the state championship game. Kingdom Collegiate Academy's head coach Trey Givens, their starting lineup just introduced to you moments ago. Andrew Lewis in the starting lineup in place of Logan Terrell today, along with Caleb Barrett, Zachariah Manab, Mason Barnett, and Austin Centers. For Christ Academy, their head coach Dale Miller, their starting lineup this morning for a 10 a.m. tip. Bright and early in the morning, Samuel Luffman, Dylan Miller, Sammy Issa, Grayson Southard, and Merrick Estes. Officials today, Deke Jones, the referee, Logan Taylor, and Jonathan Poe are 2 umpires. And we are just about ready to tip it off and get a fun 3 days of basketball started.
That's right. I'm catching my breath right now because this is going to be fast and furious, I think. We'll see.
Over under 200 points between the two teams over the course of the next 32 minutes of basketball. It's Centers and Miller to tip it up. Knocked into the backcourt. And it will be Kingdom Collegiate basketball to get things started.
And it looks like Christ coming right out in man-to-man.
Nice backdoor feed for a wide-open layup for Austin Centers and a 2-0 start for Kingdom Collegiate.
Kingdom Collegiate also in man-to-man. The pressure didn't seem to bother Christ Academy at all. Here's a horn set.
Dylan Miller, the leading scorer in all of T.A.P.S, trying to go 1-on-3, has it taken away. Manab quickly up the court for Caleb Barrett. Misses the layup. Three-pointer on the way for Luffman. Misses. Offensive rebound. Pulled down and a foul on the loose ball.
Hey, 3 guys at the boards there is a nice offensive rebound.
KCA plans on throwing an awful lot of bodies at number 10, Dilen Miller. Averages 27 a game. The coach's son, one of the best players in the state, just a sophomore. Three-pointer on the way, misses short. Rebound down to Manab. Quickly up ahead once again. Three-pointer on the way for Mason Barnett. No dice.
If I remember correctly, Coach Miller said they want to get up 2 to 3 shots a minute. And there's one.
And the first 2 points of the game for Dilen Miller.
Yeah, the first time down on Miller's possession, they did run 3 guys at him, and that's what caused the turnover.
Now Miller defending. Nice shot over top of him by Barrett, and it falls.
They're definitely aware of Miller.
Being singled up now by Andrew Lewis. Three-pointer on the way, and connecting is Sam Luffman for 3.
And that's what Christ is going to need. They need that other man to score so that some of the attention can come off Miller.
Luffman, their second leading scorer at 14 a game. Baseline drive, drawing the foul is Austin Centers.
It looks like right now defensively that Christ is going to try to play man up and not send a lot of help to penetration. That situation right there, didn't have a lot of help coming to the drive and probably maybe caused the foul. I don't know. We'll see how it continues to pan out.
Centers just a freshman, but described by some as maybe their best overall player.
Well, 21 a game.
Barnett, their leading scorer at 27 a game. Jesse Holly, who's their athletic director, described it to me as a flamethrower.
Here comes the double.
Miller beats the double, gets into the lane, finishes, and the foul.
Nice move. Very nice. And the Euro step to help. Yes, I'm still on the Euro step, Mike. We have lost our way on what traveling is in basketball. One of the things I noticed here, too, is on the defensive rebound, Collegiate sending a person out all the time. So that's probably one of the ways they score so many points a game is leaking people out, and no one does anything to recover to that.
Another factor here in the opening 2 minutes and change, the offensive glass for Christ Academy. A couple of offensive boards. This one pulled down by Grayson Southard, and he draws the foul, so it's a baseline inbound off the missed free throw by Miller.
Now we're making sure who the foul was on.
Deke Jones and his crew just making sure they've got everything correct before Miller keys the inbounds from the far baseline.
That's good officiating to do that.
Too strong on the layup there for Luffman and out of bounds, but last touched by KCA.
Nice penetration. Again, where was the help defense? Just observation, folks. Don't get mad at me.
That's what you're here to do, my man.
Yeah.
Tell it like it is. Southard with it, down low. Kicked down in the corner for 3 from Luffman. Misses short. Barrett with the rebound. He'll look to push ahead quickly. Three-pointer on the way. Misses short off the hands of Barnett. Rebound battled for and a foul on the loose ball. And to the free throw line for 2 is Zachariah Manab.
Actually, both teams are hitting the offensive board pretty hard. But that was a nice pass ahead there to get the ball up the floor quickly. Again, how do you score points? You get it up the floor quickly on the pass, not on the dribble.
First free throw falls from Manab.
All the guys that so far that I've seen shoot have really nice form, nice rotation on their shots, so they should have some success shooting today.
There's no shortage of scorers on the floor today. I'm so in the habit of saying tonight. It's very much not tonight. It's 10:15 in the morning.
That was a great no-look pass by Miller. Too bad he couldn't finish there, but really nice pass.
Barrett gives for Barnett. Barnett just 5'7", but again, they call him a flamethrower.
Yeah, I don't know where that comes from. But, hey, whatever works.
Kid can shoot it. Put it that way.
That's right.
Double team here on Miller, trying to dribble around it. And a foul call.
I noticed the last possession for Collegiate, they were in a 5-out set, just passing and cutting, which is a nice way to attack a man-to-man, particularly if your guys will move and not get caught dribbling the ball and stick the ball. Good backdoor opportunities and so forth.
Miller singled up for one. Step back three, all net.
Wow. Just a sophomore.
He's got 7 already. Ball tipped. That's going to go down as a foul against Dilen Miller.
Yeah. We'll go with the call, but I thought he had a block.
And it sends Caleb Barrett to the free throw line for 3.
Number 2, Caleb Barrett.
(10-6) our score, approaching the midway point of quarter number 1 here in the 1A Boys North semifinal. One more still to come here for Caleb Barrett.
You know, one thing I noticed that Miller doesn't seem to be this bit phased by the pressure on him. He just kind of takes it in stride and does his thing.
Not remotely out of the ordinary for him to deal with multiple bodies coming at him. That one missed, tipped by Luffman, still battled for. Merrick Estes with the offensive glass, but then the travel.
Interesting. Well, I tell you what, that was a lot of volleyball there. They did a good job of banging the board, just couldn't collect it. Yeah, moving screen, yeah. You got to be set. You can't stick your hip out. You can't roll your shoulder out. Got to be set. Good call.
Logan Terrell, the freshman, usually a starter for this team. They flopped Andrew Lewis into the starting lineup for today, in part specifically to try and hound Dilen Miller, who fires again. Manab with a head of steam. Has it knocked away. Good hands by Sam Luffman.
Great D.
But now up in the air and nowhere to go with it is Southern, and another turnover. And here comes Barrett once again down the lane. Lefty layup goes. Tie game.
For those players out there, remember, if you're going to jump to pass, you better have a plan. You don't want to jump to pass.
Miller swarmed, has to hit the deck on the loose ball. Jump ball. Possession arrow will keep it on this end. Tell you what, some pretty good energy in the gym for 10-12 in the morning.
Yes.
On a Thursday.
And it looks like Coach Miller going to take a timeout. It looked like Dilen is a little shook up there on going for that ball.
30-second timeout taken by Dale Miller, himself an accomplished basketball player, played overseas for a decade. And his son Dilen, just a sophomore, already with 7 points here in the early going in a 10-10 ball game between Christ Academy and Kingdom Collegiate Academies out of the Desoto area. Kingdom Collegiate getting to the state, had a bye in the bi-district round, won 96-48 against Wichita Christian in the area round, won 98-67 against St. Mary's Catholic in the regional finals. Pointsy as could be. For Christ Academy, not quite as pointsy, but not far off. They also had a bye in the bi-district, an 89-70 win over Faustina Academy in the area round, and then 80-55 they beat Prestonwood Christian North in the regional finals.
Yeah,
so no surprise that they're off to a quick start.
Right, both teams. By the way, Collegiate won the semifinal last year, and then they tested positive COVID, and they had to drop out. So the teams they beat took their place. So they're on a mission today to right that wrong, I guess you could say.
Another offensive board for Estes, but he can't hit the putback. Barrett quickly up floor.
Yeah, Christ is doing a much better job getting back defensively now than they were early in the game. Now we're back to the 5-out set. Dribble handoffs.
Manab with it now.
Here comes screen roll. Good
Barrett
help.
rejects the screen. The most deliberate offensive set we've seen from either team so far.
Yeah, it's a wonder somebody hadn't got anxious here.
Manab. Baseline jumper, side iron.
Here comes a double again, and he's right by it.
Triple teamed.
Yep. Nice nice ball fake, pass fake. That was beautiful. I tell you what, players out there, you need to put that in your game. Freeze the defense by pass faking where you want to go, and then look, you'll be opened up. You'll move the defense when you do that.
Sam Luffman with the fundamentals, and he pays it off with a three-pointer and a three-point lead for Christ Academy.
Oh,
Southard.
Goodness.
Chased down, though, by Luffman. He fires it up off glass, and it goes.
You know, right now, Christ is winning the 50-50 ball. Outplaying Collegiate in that realm.
Manab misses short. All 15 points so far for Christ Academy scored by either Sam Luffman or Dylan Miller. Southern trying to change that. Back iron.
We need to make one more pass and get that shot in the corner.
Three on the way and good for Barnett, his first of the game. Southern with it in the corner. 18-footer misses short. Final minute of the opening quarter here in the 1A Boys North semifinal. Barrett and Barnett exchanging it. Barrett, 18-footer.
I was just thinking on that possession we talked about. It was the slowest possession of the half, about the shot clock coming in, probably 23-24.
14-footer is good, silky smooth from Dylan Miller.
Well, plenty of time now for our last possession.
Barnett couldn't answer, stays a 4-point lead. 10 seconds in the period. Here comes the double team once again on Miller. Down to 4 on the clock. Fires and hits right before the buzzer. Another three-pointer for Dylan Miller. And a 7-point lead for Christ Academy after one.
He's putting on a clinic, isn't he? What a shot. Even mishandled it a little bit and still got the shot up.
A fantastic opening period from Dylan Miller. And Christ Academy leads by 7 after one. We'll return on T.A.P.S TV. A dozen first-quarter points for Dylan Miller to lead his team to a 7-point lead after one. Kingdom Collegiate Academies with the basketball to start quarter number 2. And it's Zachariah Manab to start the offense.
One of the things I notice about the Collegiate offense is, they're just moving. They're not really screening. They intend to screen, but they're not really screening. And I think if they would move and screen and set a good solid screen and stay solid, it might open up some things for them.
Christian McClendon just into the basketball game. Gives it up top. Barrett down the lane, misses the layup. Miller hounded by McClendon. It's just the latest body that they're going to throw at him.
Wow.
That foul will be on the floor and a baseline inbound, but you see the ease with which Dilen Miller moves.
No, he's got like 4 gears, and that one he went 1, 2, 3, and 4 like real fast. He's really impressive player.
Side iron on that attempt. Then quickly up the floor comes KCA. In transition, 3 on the way. Rattles off for Barrett.
That was a great box out there for that rebound. Just a really nice box out. Oh,
Southern
nice move.
jump stop by the defense and gets the floater to go.
That's the move I love, the jump stop. That's awesome. The jump stop allows you to go up with strength instead of going off of 1 foot.
Long rebound, and here comes Miller with the run out. 1-on-1, lowers his shoulder and scores. He's got 14 already. 18-footer on the way, misses short off the hands of centers. And that's already foul number 7 of the opening half against KCA. Into the free throw line will go Sam Luffman. Very nearly a steal there for KCA, and the Cougars fans were directly behind us. They felt like that should have been a no call and a steal.
I think I looked down at the wrong time, so I have no opinion. But what I was thinking about is number 12, Sammy Isa for Christ. I've been watching him. He's kind of like the guy that's the unseen hero out there, that just boxing out and doing the fundamental things. Really fun to watch him. Got a timeout. Good call.
Timeout called by Trey Givens, as in a blink it's become a 26-13 lead for Christ Academy. This was a 15-13 game, an 11-0 run for Christ Academy. Led, of course, by Dilen Miller. Yeah. 7 of those 11 coming courtesy of the sophomore superstar.
Yes, he is. We were talking in the break, and I mentioned that I was trying to think of, I don't watch much NBA nowadays, but I was thinking back to the days when I did, and he kind of reminds me of a Walt Frazier or a George Irvin. Just smooth. You really don't know they're that fast.
Yeah.
And just kind of silky smooth. He's kind of that kind of guy. Maybe today for like Baylor, maybe a Flagler, just kind of smooth. Okay. It just looks like he's going about his business. And all of a sudden, he's got all these points. And, yeah, it's really fun to watch. He's definitely worked hard on his game, and to think he's only a sophomore, it's pretty incredible.
He scored 14 points in 10 minutes worth of action.
Just Collegiate's got to come up with some answers offensively, though. They just have, I know they like to run the ball, but they're going to have to figure something else out because they're not getting that opportunity.
Down low, double team, drawing the foul is Austin Centers. And the freshman will head to the free throw line for the second time today. I thought Isa had a good position there. The defender's allowed, even if he's up in the air, he's supposedly allowed from the vertical, from the floor to the ceiling, supposedly.
I don't think it ever gets called that way, but that's supposedly what's supposed to be the defender's right of position.
The 2 free throws from Centers snaps that 11-0 run. Luffman looking for Miller in the lane. 14-footer. Manab quickly up the floor for Centers. The freshman blows the layup. Just moving a little too quickly.
Yep. And Isa right there to go. Oh.
That's going to be an offensive foul against Dilen Miller, and I believe that's at least his second foul.
That's his second foul, yeah.
With 5:19 here in the second quarter.
You know, I've been thinking about this a lot coming down to the tournament, is the resurgence of the mid-range game. For several years, it was all three-point and dunk and whatever, and now we're starting to see people get back into shooting the mid-range shot. That would have been real helpful right there. He could have avoided the charge.
Centers blocked.
Wow.
Met at the apex by Isa.
Yeah. I'm telling you, he's the unsung hero. Look at that. Oh,
down the lane, but Luffman can't finish. Barrett.
Nice help.
Knifing into the lane, spin move, pretty finish.
Well, that was a pretty left hand. I don't know if he's left-handed or not, but that was a great left hand.
Caleb Barrett, the All-State honoree, 24 a game, and showing off the moves there. That one's deep and off the back iron from Luffman. In the corner, Manab, cross court for Centers. Good look. The layup won't fall.
Oh, this kid.
Good save by Miller.
Number 2, Luffman, man, he came from nowhere to knock that ball loose. That was incredible.
Now he gets it back in the corner. Up top for Miller. He'll pop for 3. Side iron, out of bounds.
It looks to me like Collegiate has gone to more of a 2-3 zone instead of man-to-man, so that they can run those 2 guys early at Miller. So we'll see if they continue that. Not a bad plan.
Barrett, back iron on the 3. I feel like if you were to talk to Trey Givens at halftime, he'd probably tell you that a lot of shots that they normally make, they've missed in this first half. That one rims out for Miller, and here comes Centers again. The freshman with the lefty finish. A 6-0 spurt for Kingdom Collegiate out of their timeout, forcing the timeout from Dale Miller.
That was a good run. They made a good run. Now they're starting to play like we thought they would play, getting the ball up the floor quick and getting to the basket. You know, some teams that score a lot of points, they start slow. They got to kind of figure out, you know, what the defense is doing, working the attack. And I think they've kind of got it figured out now. And
especially with a 10 a.m. start, too.
Yeah, well, you know, most of them probably still sleeping if it's not a school day. But anyway, yeah, it's tough to play early in the morning. I mean, think about it. You normally practice in the afternoon, and especially play for John Chaney at Temple. He practice at 4 in the morning. That way, he said that way he knew they went to class. That was his excuse. But most coaches don't practice at 4 in the morning. Most of the time, it's
I don't know if that would work for me. If you scheduled my practice at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to practice, and then I'm going back to the dorm, and I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, well, that was a good theory. I don't know if it worked out for him or not.
Back out of the timeout, it's Miller trying to snap this 6-0 KCA run. Looking underneath, nice find. Layup missed. Another offensive board for Estes. Fought for on the ground. Ends up in the hands of Luffman. He can't hit. Another offensive rebound. Ends up with Miller for 3. Back iron. Ball tipped right toward us. Somehow staying in bounds was Caleb Barrett. Into the lane, and the floater will go. Caleb Barrett showing off the athleticism, going coast to coast, and it's a 5-point game. 18-footer on the way. Misses short off the hands of Southern. Gets his own offensive rebound. Ends up on the far side of the lane. Jumper from Estes. No dice. Luffman with an offensive board. Southern will pop a three. Rattles off. And Centers finally ends the possession for Christ Academy. KCA needs to get on the defensive glass.
They do. They're not boxing out. If you watch them, they don't find a man. They just turn around and they're depending on their athletic ability to get the rebound. And no matter how athletic you are, you still have to put a body on a man.
Somehow it ends up squirting away from Southern to Miller. He pops a three, draws the foul.
I'll tell you what, with the energy that he's having to exert to get the ball up the floor, it will take its toll. And I think that's what the collegiate coach is counting on, because you've got to be in incredible shape to play the entire 40 minutes and have that kind of pressure on you.
As if on cue, that free throw comes up short.
Yeah, first to go is the legs.
Second one falls. He still has one more, as it was a three-point attempt.
Yeah, I think Christ Academy is ultimately going to be in trouble here if they can't find some scoring from somebody else. Particularly with all the offensive rebounds they're getting, they got to get those to go back and go in.
2-for-3 trip from Miller, snaps an 8-0 run for KCA. Barrett singled up on Miller. Knocked away and stolen. Here comes Estes. 1-on-2. Can't finish. Tipped out to Barrett. Now he'll run. Up and down the floor we go. Right back comes Luffman for Estes. Blocked. Luffman there to check it down. Gives it back to Estes. This time draws the foul.
You can see that coming from a mile away. Man, I wonder how many, I'm not counting, I'm sure you're not either. I wonder how many offensive rebounds Christ has. It's got to be a big number. The problem is they've been empty possessions.
We need to get on Steve Pradam to hire a statistician.
I'm telling you. That and a telestrator. I'd like both of those. It's always good to teach the game if you can show people what you're talking about. If I talk about help defense, like what? Help to help, or what does that mean? I don't know what that means. What's he talking about?
I got a running tally going. That's about the best I can claim.
Yeah, there you go.
I can give you runs. I can give you scores. I'm not sure I can do much else in real time. 1-for-2 trip there for Estes. And it's a 6-point game once again. Manab down the lane. Gets the floater to go. Luffman. Rebound pulled down by Manab. In the corner. Bucket and the foul for Mason Barnett, and a chance to cut the lead to 1.
That was a great move. Nice attack. If on that first, in the initial penetration, and the man who made the pass to the corner, I thought the Christ Academy player would step up there and stay firm and get a charge, but he bailed out of it.
The and one from Mason Barnett, and the lead is down to 1. Final 30 seconds of the opening half. A block in the lane on Terrell.
I would say that there's one thing that Miller could bring. There's one thing that Miller could bring to the game right now that would help his team is he's being overplayed really high on the floor. And when you're overplayed like that, I mean, just, chest to chest, back cut. I mean, he's so fast. If he'd back cut at full speed, I think he'd be open for something to happen in the paint.
First free throw falls for Luffman. A 2-for-2 trip makes it 31-28. Final 22 seconds. Ticking off the clock here is KCA. Fires early on the clock. Way back iron. And here comes Miller with a chance to add 2 more. Or 3. Hesitation move down the lane.
Fantastic.
Lefty layup.
Man, that was a bad possession for Collegiate last time.
Trying to answer, shooting a little earlier than he had to there was Barnett. The 3 won't go. And it's 33-28 in favor of Christ Academy at halftime. Not as high scoring maybe as we expected it could have been, but definitely an up and down pace of play the entire first half.
Absolutely, and some really fine skills displayed by both teams. Love the left-hand work from Collegiate around the basket. And I really enjoy watching Miller for Christ play, and I really enjoy his teammates' hustle and willingness to get on the floor, to get after the rebounds. I would say maybe they're a little more fundamental in that regard. If Collegiate would just find a man with their eyes and box him out with their body instead of just turning and finding the ball. That's the secret to being a great rebounder, defensive rebounder, is find the man with your eyes and then box him out. If you're just turning and watching the ball, you have no idea where he is. So you're going to miss the rebound.
Rebounding definitely a factor in the first half of this one. Also a factor, Dilen Miller. 18 first half points to lead his team to a 33-28 lead at halftime in the 1A Boys North semifinal in the Texas Association of Private and Parochial Schools. Halftime at University High in Waco will return on T.A.P.P.S TV after this. 33-28, our halftime score in the 1A semifinals between Kingdom Collegiate Academies and Christ Academy. 33-28, Christ Academy with the lead behind 18 points from Dilen Miller, a dozen from Sam Luffman, 30 of their 33 points from just those 2 young men. For Kingdom Collegiate, Austin Centers with 7, Caleb Barrett with a dozen, Mason Barnett with 6, 25 of their 28 points. So the points are coming, Earl Garland, from exactly where we expected them to come from.
Yeah, the top 2 players for Christ are doing what they normally do, and the top 3 players for Collegiate are doing what they normally do, although I don't think at the clip they anticipated, because all 3 of those guys, if I remember correctly, averaged 20 points a game or better. So there's a few more points to come if they're going to have a chance in this game. If Christ had one more kid that could go along with Luffman and Miller, it would be incredible, I think.
Yeah.
But I think the three collegiate players are definitely capable of really busting out in the second half if they can do that. Of course, Christ is going to play defense on them. So.
Yeah. We've seen Andrew Lewis. We've seen Christian McClendon get thrown at Dilen Miller. We've seen a little bit of Caleb Barrett guarding Dilen Miller. We've seen double teams. We've seen triple teams.
Yep.
KCA is trying to do everything they can to try and slow down number 10 in white and red. Yeah, if you were coaching against him, how do you approach a player with that kind of talent?
Well, sometimes you can say we're going to shut everybody else off and let him have his whatever.
Sure.
Right? And I think maybe if I were coaching, that might be the route I would take. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I'd be doing what Collegiate's doing, just throwing bodies at him and trying to get him to give up the ball. There have been games in the past I've coached where we've done either or all of that.
No doubt. He's a challenge and a half.
Yeah.
18 in the first half of this basketball game. When we return the second half, we'll see if KCA's got anything better for him in the second half, or if Dilen Miller and company will keep things rolling for Christ Academy in the 1A boys semifinal on T.A.P.P.S TV. We'll be right back. As we welcome you back to University High in Waco, second half action between Christ Academy and Kingdom Collegiate Academies. And it's the Warriors with the opening possession of the second half. A 3 on the way right away for Sam Luffman, who's now got 13 on the day.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the adjustments that are made, particularly on a Collegiate's part. I think Christ is going to just do what they do. That's what Coach told us before the game, so they are doing that.
Nab gives for Centers. The freshman, tough lady finish and the foul.
I think I said in the first half, and I'll say it again, that's more of what Collegiate needs to be doing is setting those screens and real screens, strong screens, and then rolling. Really nice.
Centers with the free throw. He's got 10 now on the day. And answers the three-pointer from Luffman. In transition, 3. No dice for Grandpa. Southard couldn't connect. And here comes Centers into the lane. 12-footer, back iron.
Yep.
And a foul on the offensive glass.
Yeah, I mean, that's what fundamental box outs will do for you right there. Over back call. Nice job. So basically, Collegiate is doing what they did in the first half. They're going to pressure Miller. They're probably going to run a double at him here shortly, and they're playing zone on the baseline.
It's Manab chasing him now. It seems like they've given a quarter to a different player each time.
Yeah. Not a bad idea.
Southard up top. Into the lane for Miller, who finally gets his hands on the ball with this possession, turns and scores.
2 deflections, and he still gets it and scores.
I feel like this is a decent time to remind you, considering he now has 20 on the day. He's a sophomore.
Yes. That's the impressive part. A lot of maturity in his game.
Centers, nice spin move in the lane, and the finish around Miller.
I think Miller got away with one there, too.
In transition, 3 on the way from Luffman, no dice. Miller with the offensive board and the putback.
So smooth. Apparently, Coach told him to shoot more threes.
They have. They've been jacking them up here in the opening 2 minutes of the half. Centers will try to respond in kind and does. What a start to the half for Austin Centers. 8 points.
Oh, my God. Remember George Gervin?
I was going to say, that was very Gervin-esque with the finger roll, just wouldn't go. Luffman tips it away.
Look at those hands.
And here comes Miller again. Gives it off for Luffman.
Beautiful
and 2
pass.
more.
Yeah, Luffman has some really great hands. That's the 3rd time I believe he's knocked the ball away from a collegiate player. Come on, guys, let's run a screen roll.
3-pointer on the way for Logan Terrell, side iron. Austin Centers kind of went takeover mode on this end of the floor here for KCA. All 8 points in the early going of the second half. But Luffman, wide open, back iron. A feverish first 3 minutes of this third quarter. Layup won't go for Barnett.
Yes, this is the pace that both teams want to play at. One's finishing and one isn't.
Nice find on the baseline, and the jumper goes for Issa.
That's that unsung hero, Issa. He's just out there doing his job.
Sammy Issa returning this year to the lineup after missing all of last year with Burkitt's leukemia, a rare type of non-Hodgkin lymphoma. Now he's out there making plays for his team in the state semifinals.
That's incredible.
Austin Centers racing up the floor, now with 10 in the second half. Again for Issa.
Wow.
No dice. Here comes Manab. Into the lane, blocked cleanly by Dylan Miller. Now taken away, though. Manab hounded him and pays it off with the deuce, and it's a 4-point game. And that's a travel. Absolutely. Luffman thought about throwing it to the far wing. Knew he would have turned the ball over if he did let it go. Turned it over anyway by taking an extra step. And KCA's created a little bit of havoc now here in the early going.
Yeah, they've got they have Christ Academy out over their skis a little bit here, especially Miller. He kind of got out of control there. Was too much dribbling behind the back and trying to be a little too fancy.
Centers has been instrumental in this KCA spurt to cut the lead to 4. Now Manab, back iron.
I would say that the thing he's struggling with, it's not basketball skill, it's emotional maturity.
Timeout called by Christ Academy. The fans behind us on the KCA side very frustrated that a foul wasn't called there on Dilen Miller. I'm kind of inclined to say they've got a case there as he went crashing through the lane. Now, he lost his footing. There was part of why he went crashing through the lane, but there was an awful lot of contact there for there to have been no whistle.
Yeah, well, he's gotten away with, I'd say, 3 so far in this half. But, you know, it's sometimes officials know who the best player is out there, and they don't want him to go out of the game. So we're watching the replay now.
I mean, there's something to be said for being judicious as an official with each team's best players. You know who those kids are.
Yep.
You're not going to foul a kid out or get a kid in foul trouble on a ticky-tack call.
Right.
If he earns the foul, and you call him for it. But there is some – you don't want to fundamentally change the game on a ticky-tack call. I'm not sure whether you'd put that in that category or not, but it's no secret that if you're the star player, you're going to get officiated differently, whether it's in the NBA at the collegiate level or here at the high school level. That's the nature of basketball.
True. Very true. And more at the collegiate and NBA level than in high school.
Yes, no doubt. Baseline inbound out of the timeout. They get it back to Miller in the lane. Quadruple team. Gives it out for Southern. Has the three-pointer blocked. Loose ball in the lane. Issa can't finish. Finally corralled by Mason Barnett. And here comes KCA. The lead was down to 1 late in that second quarter. Centers into the lane. Traveled with it.
Yep. Yeah, this nice defensive position forced him into that travel. Could have been a charge. Probably wasn't set long enough to get the charge, but then I'm not going to debate officials' calls too much. It's a tough thing to do.
Luffman into the lane, can't finish, and here comes Centers. 3 on the way, and connecting is Mason Barnett. Lead down to 1. Dilen Miller high off the glass, chases after his own rebound, and a jump ball in the lane. Possession arrow will give it to KCA. There is a fan from KCA directly behind us who has 0 issues with volume.
0. I'm glad I have.
I am impressed with the vocal capabilities.
Yeah.
My goodness.
I'm glad I have earmuffs on so that you and I can talk, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to.
It has gotten loud in this gym for what was a 10 a.m. tip. People are still drinking coffee. Foul away from the ball.
Well, we got an illegal screen again. I still think that's what Collegiate needs to be doing, but they've got to get set. Not rush.
I believe it went against Logan Terrell. I didn't see the signal from the official, but just based off of his reaction, I think that's who the foul went against. Nice look underneath, and the layup goes for Merrick Estes. Lead back to 3 for the Warriors. Barnett, runner, won't go. Offensive rebound, that will fall.
I don't know if anyone's noticed, but now the ball handling responsibilities are going more to other players for Christ.
Nice look underneath.
They're attacking this, probably giving Miller a break and letting other guys handle it is allowing them to get those open looks because the other guys are playing a zone. So there's going to be places for guys to set themselves to be open.
Sammy Issa finds the open spot in the zone, gets the layup to go. The lead's back to 3. Barnett ties the game. Issa can't finish.
Man, that kid's something else.
Another offensive rebound, and the putback goes, plus the foul.
Imagine coming back from leukemia and playing with that intensity. He hadn't set 1 minute, and he is just banging away. It's awesome.
Diagnosed late in his freshman year, missed his entire sophomore season. Now as a junior, back on the team, in the starting lineup, and has he ever made an impact on this basketball game on the offensive glass, on the defensive end, the putback there, plus the foul. Can't finish the three-point play with the free throw, but the layup missed underneath. Luffman thought he got fouled, no call, back the other way. In the corner, three-pointer on the way. Side iron, no. And that is how a raucous third quarter will come to an end. 50-48. Christ Academy still with the lead after 3, but narrowly. It's gotten loud in here.
Yes.
Hope y'all are having fun at home. We'll come back for the 4th on T.A.P.P.S TV right after this. Back at University High, fourth quarter action, teed up and ready to go. 24 minutes in the books, only 2 points separate these two semifinalists in T.A.P.S 1A. Christ Academy with the 50-48 lead.
Yeah, again, just an opinion. I think that Collegiate would help themselves by starting their offense right off the bat. So as the ball comes up the floor, run a high ball screen right here, spread everybody out, and get their best 2 players up there handling the ball and setting the screen and rolling. That would help them, I think.
Deep 3 connects for Logan Terrell. Cross court, Issa for 3. Rattles out. Dylan Miller skying in for the offensive board on the putback.
The slasher. Love slashers. Hard to box out.
Came out of nowhere. His first points in a while since early on in that third quarter.
The other adjustment I think would help Collegiate if they got right here. Attack him. He's got 2 fouls. Let's get him in foul trouble. He can't hurt you if he's sitting on the bench.
Comes away with the steal now. In transition, 1-on-2. Knifes through and lays it in anyway. Now with 26 on the night. Or morning.
Yeah.
57-51.
What could he do if he woke up, huh?
Now right on, or approaching, I should say, his average of 27 a game. Barnett, back iron.
I think he might surpass that 27.
Maybe right here. Mason Barnett, just a freshman. Austin Centers, just a freshman, a very young KCA team. Kick out, Barnett for 3. Manab with the steal underneath in the lay-in.
Nice hands to grab that away.
Zachariah Manab has had a very nice second half. Miller down the lane. Can't finish. Knocked out of bounds, stays on that end.
Boy, he's really quick on the hop. Up to shoot, back up to rebound. The rebounding really hasn't changed from first half to second in regards to giving up offensive rebounds and collecting defensive rebounds.
Miller gives on the baseline. Now it's stolen. taken away by Terrell. Quickly up the floor, tipped, but it'll stay on this end. Good hands by Sam Luffman.
That's Luffman's at least fourth deflection, and 2 of those have been for a steal. Deflections lead to steals. It's a great adage. Encourage your teams to deflect the ball as much as they can because ultimately they will get steals.
Nab looking for somebody to inbound the ball to. Finally finds Centers. Nice move. Gets down the lane and finishes at the rim.
Yeah. That was a hiccup quick move. What a great move. By the way, the ratio is 25 deflections leads to 12 steals a game. Documented statistics from years of charting it myself as a head coach, and from Rick Pitino's studies as he emphasized deflections and steals as well.
Austin Centers, the freshman shooting guard from KCA, now with 19 on the night. 12 of those 7 coming after halftime. He has made a substantial impact in helping KCA get back into this basketball game.
Yeah, and I think if I'm watching the same game, I think I'm right. He's had opportunities to attack Miller and didn't do it. And if he's I guess that would be a freshman's lack of basketball IQ at this point. Again, that's an opinion, folks. I'm not demeaning the young man. But, you know, there's
freshmen do freshman things sometimes.
Basketball IQ comes with experience. And a freshman probably doesn't have the experience he needs. But someday he'll know that, and he'll take it to the best player because he's got that ability.
Right. I can think of one play where he did. It was a beautiful spin move on this left side, moving right to left, where he spun around Miller and laid the ball in. Just one example that jumps to mind. But I think your point in general is go at him repetitiously and try and get him in foul trouble. And that's where KCA hasn't taken advantage of that opportunity.
Correct. Or just wear him out. You know, he's got to play.
Yeah, you know. Right through the hands of Southern, but he's able to corral it. Hounded by Centers. Now Miller has it. Down the lane, hangs in the air, draws the foul, and finishes.
That's incredible. And that was to the left hand, and he's right-handed. And the strength to be able to make that move. I mean, he shot with his right hand, but to move to the left confidently like that and then be able to have the strength to finish that shot.
And he just hung and just waited and then finally got it off. And it's a 5-point lead with under 5 minutes to play. Winner to the state championship game tomorrow. Down the lane, no dice for Barrett. Couldn't quite get it to finish.
That's exactly what they need to do, though. That was a good play.
Cross court, knocked away, stolen by Centers. Centers gives off Barrett for 3. Back iron. Ball tipped. Stepping back for 3 is Barrett. He can't hit. Beg your pardon, Barnett. Luffman down the lane. Layup goes.
Okay, there's a teaching point right there that every player out there ought to think about. You start penetration. If you get the defender on your hip, or some people call get the edge, which is exactly what Luffman did there, that's exactly what you want to do. You know he's beat if you got him on your hip. That's when you continue your penetration strong to the basket, and that's exactly what Luffman did. Beautiful.
Foul called on KCA. That's their 5th of the half. Only 1 called so far in the second half on Christ Academy. Luffman. A 7-point lead, under 4 to play. Pump fake, Estes down the lane. Draws the foul.
Yep. That's the right call. Did you notice that there was a skip pass? Instead of going to the wing, he skipped it to the corner. That allowed that penetration to the basket because the defender's rushing to get down to the baseline, and now you could come right back to the right hand for that penetration. That was really pretty. I like what Christ has done is allowing Miller not to have to handle the ball. So it's caused a conundrum for Collegiate because, we want to stop him, but he doesn't have the ball. Now, Coach, what do we do?
Caleb Barrett, the junior all-state honoree who had a big first half, just fouled out. So onto the floor comes Andrew Lewis, who did start tonight, one of their defensive stoppers. He was the first body that they threw at Dilen Miller in that opening quarter. 3:33 to work with. Estes to the free throw line for 2, looking to extend this 7-point Christ Academy lead. This the first of 6 games here at University High today. 6 more here tomorrow. Then Earl and I will head over to West High School for state championship games on Saturday.
Yeah, 5 and 6A, that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun.
A 1-for-2 trip for Estes. And it's an 8-point game. Manab down the lane. High arcing shot falls.
Composure is very important right here.
Southern gives off for Luffman. Into the lane for Miller, layup goes.
Great movement, great offensive movement, really pretty.
Step back 3 on the way, side iron. Miller going 1-on-3, kick out, Luffman wide open for 3, misses short. Rebound down to Southern. Oh! Fired a pass underneath, trying to find Estes a little too hot.
Wow. That was quite a pass attempt. And Coach was telling him, settle down. Seriously.
with an 8-point lead and 2.5 minutes to work with. Timeout called by Trey Gibbons.
Yeah, I know there's that conundrum of, hey, we want to run and we want to shoot a lot, but now we have an 8-point lead and our biggest enemy is the clock. So we need to take possessions and extend them a little bit so we can get the best shot possible, like the last possession before the errant pass.
Trey Gibbons, the first-year head coach at KCA, again came over from JP2 in Plano. Coach of the year in District 4, led him to a 6-0 record in District. 15-6 on the year, but now facing an 8-point deficit with 2:35 to play. How do you as a head coach approach a situation like this? What's the message to the team in the huddle?
Well, one, we got to keep playing strong, play with pride, play hard, and they need to press. They got to get up here and get after it. They got to get some turnovers because if I think Christ is going to do what I think they would do, because if I was coaching them, we would be exhausting a possession. Right now, on the next foul, they're going to be in the 1-and-1. So, and Kingdom is going to have to, our Collegiate's going to have to start fouling at some point. So Collegiate has to press, and Christ has to take care of the ball.
Austin centers. And massive second half, looking for more, in the lane and finishes. That time he did go right after Dilen Miller. Now here comes the trap of Miller. Tries to dribble out of it. Manab hounding him and draws the foul.
I know one thing, the officials are really allowing them to play with their hands a lot. I don't know if I've ever seen a high school game where hands were allowed so much. Basically, 2 hands on a guy's been a foul for forever. And now, they've been doing this the whole game almost, really. Maybe that's the newest transition in basketball. Take the Euro step in and then, give 2 hands on the game evolves.
Welcome to game 1 of 16 of conversations about the Euro step.
That's right. That's right.
Miller hits the first free throw. He's got another one here. Second one falls as well, and he's now got 33 on the day.
They called a hold.
Foul
This
on
is not
Southern. Only the second foul of the half called against Christ Academy.
You know, they played a very clean game. It's true.
Centers. One-on-one with Miller. Draws the foul. 2:02 to play. 67-59. The lead for Christ Academy.
Was a foul on 10 or 12? Did you catch it?
I didn't see the official signal from the official. I believed that it was going to be on Miller. I believe Dale Miller's checking the same thing right now.
Well, if that was a foul on Miller, that's his third. If it was on Isa, that's one he could give.
A 2-for-2 trip for Centers, who has been fantastic in this second half, to cut the lead back down to 6. Miller, cross court, Luffman, down low, gets it back.
Goodness.
Three-pointer on the way, misses short. A quicker shot than certainly Christ Academy would have preferred. Quickly back the other way. 3 on the way for Barnett. Misses short. That could have been a game changer. Instead, here comes Luffman in transition, gives off for Issa and the layup.
That was a great push. And he's got
Centers trying to answer back. Gets his own board. Lead back down to 6. What a second half from the freshman, Austin Centers.
Yeah, that should have been going on a lot earlier.
But right back the other way, Luffman underneath for Estes.
And there's the two-edged sword. If you press, oh, what a play. If you press, you can't give up easy baskets.
Underneath, Issa blocked by Centers. In transition, step back 3, misses short. Rebound, chased down by Grayson Southern.
You called traveling?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Behind the cheerleaders, a little hard for us to see, but yes, they called it travel, and it will be KCA ball on the baseline.
It looked to me like he changed pivot feet, but I'll tell you what, Grandpa gets around pretty good. Wouldn't you say?
Austin Centers down the lane. Can't finish. Miller with the board. 35 seconds to play and an 8-point lead.
No shot. No shot.
Surprised there's been no foul yet. Down to 25. Tipped by Centers out of bounds.
This is where maybe a timeout and get your team to get a 5-second count. Then you don't have to foul.
Now the foul does finally come from Logan Terrell, but with 21 even on the clock here in the fourth, and an 8-point lead for Christ Academy behind 33 from Dylan Miller.
I think looking for a 5-second count and really working on getting 5-second counts from out of bounds is kind of a lost art. I know I get after my teams hard about let's deny the inbound. If we're going to press, let's deny the inbounds pass and get a 5-second count. The clock doesn't run.
Right.
You know, so you don't have to foul that way. And then you can go ahead and foul. Go for the ball. If you chip it away, that's great. But 5-second counts, man, they can be a real threat for you.
8th team foul of the half means a 1-and-1 here for Sammy Issa. What a story this young man is. We mentioned it earlier. Overcoming Burkitt's leukemia, missed all of his sophomore season, back here for his junior year, and has made a profound impact on this basketball game.
Well, I'll tell you what, Miller, obviously without Miller, they're probably not the same team, but Issa, in my mind, could be an MVP for the game just because of what he did that nobody else wanted to do. Get on the loose ball, rebound, and take his points when he could get them, right? You see,
and dribble out the final seconds here. Christ Academy with a 73-63 win
And
over KCA.
And fittingly, the game ends with Grandpa handling the ball.
Grayson Southern, the senior, they call him Grandpa. He gets the ball to finish. Miller with 33. And a 10-point win for Christ Academy to move on to the state championship game.
It was a good game. Very good game.
Christ Academy built up that early 13-point lead, 26-13 early in that second quarter. Credit to KCA, came all the way back, cut the lead down to 1 at 29-28, cut the lead down to 1 again at 46-45, tied the game up at 48 all. Never were quite able to move in front, though. Christ Academy able to just barely keep them at bay, build back up the lead, and eventually pull away for a 10-point win, 73-63 the final. Miller certainly the headliner with his 33 points, but as you mentioned, Sammy Issa very impactful in this game. Sam Luffman made a really big impact, hit some big shots for them first half and second half to help lead Christ Academy and their head coach Dale Miller into the title game. A program that had never had an undefeated district record, did this year at 5-0, had never been past the first round in the playoffs. Now they've won an area round game, a regional final game, and a state semifinal, and tomorrow they'll play for a state championship.
Yeah, I like to call that game before this the Elite Eight, just like college.
Yeah.
The Elite Eight. It sounds better. It sounds better. No, both teams really played hard, played well. Miller's very impressive. Centers. He's got a big time future ahead of him.
What a fantastic freshman he is.
Yeah.
And this is a program under first-year head coach Trey Givens, who just came over from John Paul II in Plano. They're starting to build something here. Centers is just a freshman. Barnett, just a freshman. Caleb Barrett, still just a junior. They've got some impact play. I mean, there's not a senior on the entire roster.
I was going to say
everybody's coming back for next year. This is a team we'll probably see down here in the Waco area a year from now in the semifinals, possibly the championship game, because they've got a ton of talent and everybody's coming back.
Yeah, and in a year, sometimes it's hard for a coach to get his culture completely in. So as coach has more time to work with the kids and get the culture in. It'll be they're going to be a force to reckon with for sure.
And they've only got 8 kids on the roster. You can't help but wonder, a school like that, you start to see the snowball rolling downhill. Hey, the basketball program's having success. All of a sudden it becomes, a little bit more in vogue, if you will, to be a part of this basketball program. And maybe 1 or 2 kids that play football or play baseball or whatever that maybe weren't going to come out for the basketball program but are good athletes decide, you know what, I'm going to play hoops too.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden starts to kind of fill in those gaps around the roster.
Absolutely, and they're in a great area, basketball area, DeSoto.
Yeah.
So the chances for them to come back and be here again are certainly very good, very high. I think maybe one of the things that might have hurt them, I don't know, this is just supposition because I don't see a lot of 1A basketball. In fact, I didn't see any this year and couldn't find any real tape to watch. But I'm thinking maybe Christ might have played tougher teams and had a little more experience, and maybe the schedule that Collegiate played. Again, I don't know their schedule, but, maybe they didn't play as tough a schedule. And sometimes you can get away with things that you can't get away with when you play a good team, especially defensively. So, but yeah, they have a huge upside.
Christ Academy and head coach Dale Miller moving on to the state championship game. They'll play the winner of our very next game here on T.A.P.S TV, tipping off in just about 40 minutes, the noon game between Barron Academy and Calvary Baptist. Again, that game coming your way here on T.A.P.S TV in just about 40 minutes' time. But Christ Academy behind 33 from Dylan Miller, and a very impressive performance from really the entire roster. Sam Luffman made a huge impact. Sammy Issa, Grayson Southern, Merrick Estes doing a great job on the offensive glass. This was a total team effort for Christ Academy. As much as Dylan Miller you can't watch Christ Academy play and not realize the obvious. Dylan Miller is their best player by a country mile. He's a sensational player.
Yeah,
but that was still a total team effort to win that basketball.
You know, a lot of people talk about so-and-so's a Division I player, and I've always said, look, if you think this kid's a Division I player, when you walk in the gym, you ought to know it pretty quick.
It pretty quick with Dylan Miller.
I think, right now I would say mid-major, but given the opportunity for growth, he may be high end, especially if he grows a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's
as only a sophomore, you'd imagine there's some growth to come, probably. So
I've talked a lot about the Euro step and all that, and that's because guys like me, we didn't get to do that. We couldn't even get the ball, our hand on the side of the ball. That was a carry. All right, it's not a carry anymore, and the 3-point line wasn't there. So guys my size, we weren't as valuable. But a kid like Miller, he can be 6 foot, and if he shoots like that, that's kind of the 3-point line has kind of neutralized that height thing. But anyway, to some extent.
33, the final tally for Dylan Miller in a 73-63 win for Christ Academy. The Warriors moving on to the state championship game tomorrow, where they'll play the winner of our next game, Barron Academy and Calvary Baptist, on T.A.P.S TV today at noon. For Earl Garland and our entire T.A.P.S TV crew, we thank you for joining us. We will see you in 40 minutes' time for game number 2 of the weekend.